God. And my first video was hitting, but I had fucked that shit up. Now look, I'm finna hop right into it. Look, the final messages to the world. Now this is some book I had picked up when I was out skating and shit, living life on that hot shit. Right now I'm taking a break from the carts and shit. I don't even feel like hitting them bitches. So I'm just finna be on this bitch, you know what I'm saying, dropping them older videos I used to drop, like knowledge videos and shit for a little minute. I ain't even really on that exploring shit right now. I'm just on some chill shit in the house shit. I'm outside though. I'm still going outside of shit. But you know what I'm saying? It's like that in the house season right now. While still being outside. It's like a little yin yang shit going on. But look, let's get into it. Look, the final messages to the world. Now look, everyone's destination is, I'm talking about some destination on the hot shit. Everyone's destiny is about to change. Is about to be not changed, but it's about to be decided for eternity. Now look, it's a final showdown between light and darkness. You must choose sides. Now look, it's basically mean like you gotta choose sides. Like you gotta choose the angelic side or you gotta choose the demonic side. Now look, when you on the angelic side, you can't, well, you can be born into the angelic side, but you can't, if you've been born into the darkness, you can't really, it's kind of hard for you to transfer into the light. And the light is kind of like heart chakra. You know what I'm saying? So people who really be in the darker shit, they don't really be using their heart. It's more like mind and with no emotions. They don't really use they try to like, it's kind of like, basically like you blocking out the heart. It's basically, if you get what I'm trying to say, I'm basically on some hot shit. I'm basically saying like, nigga, pick what side you gonna be on. Is you gonna be with them demons and go to hell, or is you gonna be with them angels and go to heaven, nigga? Now look, let's get to the next page. We are living in the hour of judgment. Now look, that will accumulate in a verdict of eternal life or eternal loss for everyone. Now look, whatever you do, whatever the choices you make, it's going to either increase the way you live and elevate you to the heavens or to the good life, whatever you want to call it, the high vibration life, or you going to take that L. You going, you know what I'm saying? You going to fall. You're going to be with the fallen angels. You're going to be still on earth and shit. And what I mean by the earth is like, I mean like you still gonna be on 3D. Like you ain't gonna be on 5D, 6D, 7D with the higher ups and shit. What I mean by higher ups is like people like the angelic DNA. Well, you can still, a person like who on 3D, they can still go to 5D, but it all depends like if they choose light. Like if you choosing darkness, you tweaking and shit, bro. You motherfucking, you fucking these hoes and shit, bro. You tweaking. You finna be suffering and shit. Now, if you out here and you doing the right thing and shit, then you finna be going up. It's a flip going on. See, we was in that other world where if you was doing bad shit, then you would be going up. But if you was like on the good side, then you kind of got treated like trash and shit. Now this shit flipping. It's like more God is in control now. And it's like all the good people and everybody who was getting laughed at, mocked, judged, and all that shit, you finna be going up. And everybody who was judging you and doing all that shit, they finna be going down. And going down can go for many different things, but I'm just gonna keep going in the video. I'm gonna let you think about like many ways you can go down, whether that be financially, your health, you know what I'm saying, etc. Let's keep going. Now look. The hour of his judgment has come. That basically mean like God, he finna be like, all right, man. Let's weigh out your good, what you've been doing, and what you've been doing wrong, what you've been doing right and shit. You already know. And then it should say Babylon is falling. Babylon is the external world. If you ain't know, basically like the external, as you see what be going on news, bruh. A whole lot of foolishness, whole lot of shit crumbling, going down. AKA the external world. Now look, one world that is not falling is the internal world. The internal world is what God at, AKA like the heavens and shit. The internal world is like within you. That's the world you was in when you was a kid. Like when you were when you innocent, when you pure. You know what I'm talking about? Like when you first come out into the world, like you in the God world. Well, it depends on like it still kind of depends on the on how you was born, cause it's like some people they born into the spirit, some people they born into the body, and then some people they just it's either or shit. It's just that it ain't no third. I can't really think of no third way shit. Cause the body, that's like more like it's like the physical and shit. I was finna say demonic, but at the same time, like the body, it's not demonic. It depends on like what you're doing with in the body, and it's like the intentions behind it. Like how can I say this shit? Like say for example, you it's a girl, right? And she's in the body. She's not of the spirit. A girl who's in the spirit, she gonna have natural beauty. She gonna wear her natural hair. She not gonna wear no motherfucking makeup and shit. She not gonna wear all this slutty ass shit. Now look, she in the spirit. A girl that's in the spirit gonna, you know what I'm saying, high vibrational shit. And then when you got a bitch who in the body, and they going downwards with it, like they going, and it's like darkness, low vibrational shit, demonic. They wearing weave and shit. They wearing makeup. You know what I'm saying? This tweaking shit, you already know. Deceiving that shit. So that's what I'm trying to say. Like the split between the two, it's like the split between the people who, you know what I'm saying, staying righteous, and I ain't gonna say righteous. How can I say it? 'Cause I don't want to sound like it's Bible text and shit. Who's staying real? Who's staying real with God? Yeah, we're gonna say it like that. We're just gonna keep on 100. Who not folding, who not being like, where God at and shit, who already know where he at, you know what I'm saying? That's what I'm talking about right there. It's going to be a split between the shit. Now look, the hour of his judgment has come. I already read that shit. Now on to the next page, tweaking. All right, look. For the hour of his judgment. Bro, I already read. Oh, I don't flip the page. Oh yeah, I got to read the bottom part. Worship him who made the heaven, the seas, the springs, and the water. Basically, the first earth, the first, you know what I'm talking about? They want you, what God wants you to do is like praise him. And what I mean by praise, you don't gotta like do all this extra shit. Just appreciate the things around you, appreciate the water, appreciate the earth, appreciate the sea, how the seasons change and shit. Little simple shit like gratitude and shit, like the small things, appreciating the little small things in life that God had put on the earth for us to enjoy, and not being too, you know what I'm saying, caught up in the external man-made things of life, like phones and TVs. It's okay to be on. I'm not saying you can't be on your shit, but I'm just saying like kind of turn back to that first nature, aka the first world, before you even knew how to work a phone, before you knew how to play the game, like the world you was in before you knew how to do all that. When you was just in the moment, sitting there, you know what I'm talking about, just looking out the window, going outside, connected to the source and shit, not the world where you doing all the tweaking shit and you ain't even connected to the source. Now look, let's keep going. Salvation, gift of salvation. Now look, in order to get the salvation, in this book they talking about through Jesus Christ, but basically you can just develop a relationship with the universe or God or whatever you want to say. If you got a good relationship, then you can gain salvation that way. But you have to have what you do in order to get the salvation. Like you have to be righteous. You can't just be a fucking, you know what I'm saying, asshole tweaking and shit, and you think you gonna get salvation from God. Salvation from God is basically protection. You know what I'm talking about? That's protection from all the external world shit that's going on. You're gonna be protected. You ain't gonna be hurt by the bullshit that's going on. You just gonna be out the way. You're gonna be out the way for real. Now, let me get to the next part. Let me go to the next part. Angels as God messengers. Alright, look. There is no other method of salvation. And it says, other than through the process of Jesus Christ. Now look, we gonna take out the Jesus Christ part, and then we gonna say the inner world. You know what I'm talking about? Like, in order to get that salvation, you can't go on the external world and try to get it. Because it's so many people on the external world that even though they on the external world, they ain't got no salvation on them. So they getting in car crashes and shit. You know what I'm talking about? They getting into shit. They getting, you know what I'm talking about? They ain't got that protection of God, where God can take them away from shit like that. So they run into shit like that. You see what I'm saying? Now look, because they ain't got that protection, that spiritual protection. Now look, let me keep reading. It says salvation is a inestimable gift. I think I read that right. Basically, whatever the fuck word I just said, it basically means it's a good plus gift. A gift that money can't buy. And just know that. Now look, you can't buy salvation, bro. AKA protection. Man, there's a whole page on this bit. I ain't even read. Did I? I think the pages are stuck together. Anyway, we finna go to the next page I was on. Now look, it is not possible for a sinful man to reveal or reflect the glory of God. God's glory can only be reflected through lives transformed by His righteousness. Basically, mean like if you out here tweaking, you taking money. And what I mean by taking money, like you robbing, stealing, killing, whatever the fuck you doing, you sinning and shit, you tweaking. Basically, like you just doing things that ain't righteous. Then you can't expect, like when it's time, you know what I'm talking about? When it's time, you can't even expect protection. You know what I'm talking about? Internal life. You're gonna be feeling, you know what I'm saying, all fucked up inside. Cause you ain't got the connection with the source, aka God. That's why a lot of people messed up right now, cause they not tapped in within themselves. And when you don't know yourself, you can't really get to know God really. Cause when you get to know yourself, you start to get to know God, cause you is within the shit. You ain't on the outside. You know what I'm talking about? This shit go deep, bro. I'm not even on the religious shit, but this shit real though. Like you gotta like look at this shit, and you gotta like look at this shit and decipher it with your third eye, and you be like, damn, bro, this shit real. And nobody don't even be saying this shit. Shit crazy. Now look, all right, bet. Now we went to the next part. Bet. Your light has come, the glory of, they say the Lord, but I say the universe, is risen upon you. Or you could say God. That basically mean like once you get past judgment and stuff like that, and a judgment of your heart and all that, and the good and bad things you doing and shit, and you start moving, you start shifting to the newer dimensions and shit in the world, then you're gonna start to have a brighter light. You're gonna start to have, you know what I'm talking about? You gonna have the internal light within coming out on the outside world, kind of like that. I would not a Jesus aura I'm trying to say, but you know what I mean, like one of them Christ auras, like one of them protective spiritual auras and junk. Now look, all right, let me get to this next part. It says, His glory will be seen upon you. Basically, mean the light will be so bright that, and it says the gentle, I don't know what that word is. It basically was trying to say like the word is somebody who ain't a Jew, but I say the word like somebody who ain't spiritual. They gonna see the light and they gonna be attracted to it. And people from higher ups, like people who probably got money or people who in higher positions, they gonna see the light. And it says the brightness of the light gonna be rising as you continue on in the journey. So basically, mean like as you going in the journey of life through the universe and shit like that, and you go through the experience and shit like that, your light become brighter and shit, and it become more stronger, aka your aura. That's just common knowledge and shit being shared from me to you and shit. Now look, it said, let your light so shine before men that they may see your good works and glorify your Father in heaven. So basically mean like you're gonna be shining so bright that people, they gonna have to glorify you and praise you in a way, but they're not gonna praise, they're gonna praise you, and they're gonna, you know what I'm talking about, start looking at God and be like, oh, you know what I'm talking about, God gonna be working through you so he can not really talk to people, but click the light bulb in their head, like, oh yeah, he real, like he real type shit. Cause a lot of people really, man, they losing faith in God, bruh. I ain't even gonna lie. A lot of people just fucked out, down, and fucked up right now. But it's not even that. I mean, I feel like people really fucked up because they too much on the external world and they not connected to that internal world. Everybody, when the world started shifting towards the external, everybody started going towards the external. But everybody forgot to bring their internal with them. And now everybody all fucked up and shit. So if you a person and you in the internal, well, this was in the past. If you was a person and you in the internal, you had your internal right, then everybody, and if you had your external, aka like you handling your life on the outside world, what I mean by external, and then you handling your internal self, like who you is on the inside. Like if you was like at first we was in that world where like all the fucked up people came together, and then the good people, the people who was like not on that tweaking shit, like not on that bullshit, basically, like that you had to be separated from everybody. But now we're moving towards that shift where all the people who were separated, like all the people who was together, they kind of like they falling, but they splitting and they like kind of like in their own space of suffering. Like they can't really be in no relationships like that. Like something may happen and they may have to go deal with their own shit. Like they'll probably run to a relationship so they don't have to deal with their shit. But now it's like things shaking up and people have to literally deal with their shit. Now people can't just try to hide their shit and just throw it under the rug no more. People gotta really like this shit in their face. That's why a lot of people be deleting their Instagram accounts and shit, cause reality hitting people right now for real. People like, damn, what the fuck? Like, this shit real though. But I'm gonna keep going though, shit. 17 minutes ain't that. Alright, look. It says, to make an end of sin, to seal up visions and prophecies. I don't know. I just read that shit because I underlined it, but that don't mean shit. I'm finna get to this part. It says, the end of it shall be with a flood. Now, this was like, a flood basically mean, in this little book I'm reading right here, it basically mean like, don't look at it from a flood, like a physical flood with water. You gotta look at it from like a flood, like water, and then you gotta connect water with the soul. So a flood in this shit, and you look at it with the third eye, it basically means a drowning of the soul. So people's souls are drowning right now. People is stuck. People is doing shit they don't even want to do for real. People is doing whole lot of shit that they stuck and they can't do that because they ain't got no freedom of the soul. They drowning in the soul. When you not right within the soul, you kind of lose freedom because freedom it comes from within and it's like kind of on the soul because you gotta have freedom on the soul level before you can start having more freedom in the spirit. And if you ain't got freedom on the soul, like say for example, freedom of the soul basically means like you can choose what you want to do. Like you're not forcing the things that you don't want to do. It basically mean like you can wake up, you can choose, okay, who I want to talk to. You ain't got to feel forced to talk to nobody. You ain't got to feel forced to hang out with nobody. You got freedom. Drowning of the soul is you feel like you're obligated to hang out with people. And then they just pulling you down. And you know what I'm talking about? Or you hanging out with the wrong crowd and you drowning in shit. Like, that's for you flooding yourself. That's going to be the new word. You flooding yourself. All right, so look, we're going to get to this, John. This is man's final opportunity to make preparation for eternal life. So basically, we moving into times where this y'all last chance. Shit, if y'all don't get it right, get tight, then you know what I'm talking about. He gonna let the suffering loose, and it's gonna be a wrath of suffering for real. And that junk happening now to the ones who ain't got that protection, or not even. It's really, I feel like really though, it come down to like sovereignty and protection. But at the same time, I feel like most of the world they be creating problems. They be creating dumbass problems. Like if the world had just sat back and it had started attaching then it would be less problems created because you detach from the people, places, and things around you. So if you detach from the people, places, and things around you, how can problems happen? But people be too attached to things like their phones, their TVs, their cars and shit, and then they be attached to people, relationships, friends and shit, and then you know what I'm talking about. So that's where it leads to. Man, this shit's crazy. I'm so high right now. I don't even know how. I don't even know. I got more pages in this bit. Hold on. All right, so look, this is the last thing I'm gonna say before this junk go over. Now look, but the hour is coming. Blah 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 blah. When the true worshipers will worship the Father in spirit and truth. So basically, I mean, like, the people who really, like, living in alignment with God, they're going to be living in the spirit and they're going to be living within the truth reality. The people who is not in alignment with God, they're going to be living in the false reality, and they're going to be living on some, like, physical body ass shit. They ain't even going to be in the spirit. And if you trying to get your dreams, bro, you really need to have that connection with the spirit, because the spirit is like the map ahead of you, you know what I'm talking about? But if you ain't in your spirit, then you already know how it's gonna go. So especially, and if the spirit not even correlated with truth, and it's just a whole lot of kabbalah shit. But that's another reason why the world fucked up, because they out the spirit and they not living in truth. They living in false realities, and it's fucking them up.